This video is a sample from the Secret Guitar Teacher Interactive course, The 5 Main Elements of Music. The 5 main elements of music. Element number 2, Scales. Section 2.6, Understanding the Major Scale. Part 5, Circle of Fourths, Application Examples. First, let's just remind ourselves of the essential takeaway from the circle of fourths and flat key signatures. 1. The new flat is always note 4. And 2. The order of flats is battle ends and down goes Charles' father. To work out what key a piece of written music is in when it shows flats in the key signature, remember that the new flat introduced at each step round the circle of fourths becomes the next key note in the sequence. So it follows that the second to last flat in the group of symbols that make up the key signature is the key note. So in this case, the key is A flat major. Tip: remember to use the battle ends mnemonic to count the flat symbols. Although this actually makes the job easier, I know that for some students it is a bit of a brain scrambler to understand. The trick is to look at the above diagram and then go back over the previous video where we explained the circle of fourths step by step. Here's another example. Count the flat symbols in the key signature, battle, ends, and. The second to last flat symbol is E for ends. So this music is in the key of E flat major. Another way you can use this information is to work out key signatures on paper. Here are the steps for that. Supposing I ask you, what is the key signature of D flat major? Write down D flat and then the rest of the musical letter names from E to D like this. D flat, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Then start putting flat symbols next to each letter in the order given by the mnemonic. Battle, ends, and down goes Charles' father. But stop this process when you reach the fourth note. Step 3, count the flats. B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat. The key signature of D flat major is 5 flats. Let's try one more example. What is the key signature of C flat major? 1. Write out all the musical letter names from C flat to C like this. C flat, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. 2. Start putting flat symbols next to each letter in the order given by the mnemonic. Battle ends and down goes Charles' father. But stop this process when you reach the fourth note. 3. Count the flats. In this case, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat, F flat. The key signature of C flat major is 7 flats. Finally, for this lesson, we can use this information to work out key signatures in our head. Again, this is actually easier with the flat keys than it was with the sharp keys. Supposing I ask you, what is the key signature of G flat major? Start by counting round the mnemonic. Tip: count on your fingers until you get to the key note. Battle, ends, and down goes. Then go one step further around the mnemonic, Charles, and stop there. Check how many digits you are holding up. Battle, ends, and down goes Charles. That's 6. So the key of G flat major has 6 flats in its key signature. The exception. The above methods of application work really great for all the commonly used keys that have flats in their key signature, except for F major. F is the first step round the circle of fourths, starting from the neutral key of C major. So you just have to remember that F major has only one flat, the fourth note of the key, B flat. That should have set you up nicely for the tests that follow this lesson. But if you are at all confused, simply re-watch the previous video and at each stage of the explanation write out some examples for yourself. Working with the information is the way to make sense of it. Simplification warning. In this lesson, we have restricted our focus to the major scale and therefore only discussed major key signatures. For each major key, there is a relative minor key that shares the same key signature. This will be fully explained later on the course. But for now, please note that if a song is in A major, it will always have three sharps in its key signature. Father Charles Goes. Whereas if a song has three sharps, Father Charles Goes, in its key signature, it may either be in the key of A major or in the key of F sharp minor, referred to as the relative minor to A major. The relative minor key is always built on the sixth step of its relative major key. It is almost always easy to spot whether you are in the major or relative minor key. You can do this just by the sound of the music, or by a close look at the chords, or by examining the melody notes. All this will of course be fully explained later. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you'd really like to maximise your potential as a guitar player, click on the link in the description below to the Secret Guitar Teacher site. Here you can sign up for a 30-day trial free of charge and without obligation. We won't even ask you for your credit card number.